Hello, hope you're doing well, and welcome to my SMITE 2 Awilix guide. Awilix, the goddess of the moon, has pounced into SMITE 2, bringing her loyal Panther Suku and a deadly toolkit of precision and mobility. Whether she's striking from the shadows or launching an unsuspecting enemy skywards, this lunar huntress is a force to be reckoned with. Awilix enters the battleground as a melee physical assassin who thrives on mobility, burst damage, and punishing airborne enemies. With her ability to ride Suku for increased movement speed, execute devastating combos, and capitalize on knock-up effects, she excels at isolating and eliminating priority targets. And this guide will teach you absolutely everything you need to know about Awilix. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my future SMITE 2 guides, as I'll be covering all characters in SMITE 2. And also check out my Discord server if you have any questions or want to join a friendly, toxic-free SMITE community. Now let's dive into Awilix's abilities. Awilix's passive is Initiative. If she hasn't taken or dealt damage in the last 5 seconds, her next attack grants her bonus basic attack power and strength for a few seconds. This passive rewards patience and makes her an excellent initiator, allowing her to open fights with a huge burst of damage. Her first ability is Summon Suku. When activated, Awilix mounts her Panther, gaining increased movement speed but reducing her strafing ability. She can then leap off of Suku, dealing damage in a target area. This ability is her core mobility tool, letting her engage, escape, or chase down enemies with ease. Her second ability is Feather Step. Awilix flips over the last enemy hit with a short window, dealing damage while rooting and crippling them. If she times this ability with specific parts of her basic attack chain, the damage is enhanced and she can strike multiple enemies at once. This move is a key part of her combo, allowing her to follow up on attacks with devastating burst potential. Usually you'll want to level this ability first. Her third ability is Moonlight Charge. Awilix calls on Suku to charge forward, dealing damage to all enemies in his path. If an enemy is hit from the side or behind, they are knocked up into the air. This ability is crucial for setting up her ultimate and creating combo opportunities. Speaking of that ultimate, it is Gravity Surge. Awilix pulls the closest airborne or leaping enemy towards her, dealing massive damage and stunning them on landing. Afterwards, she is bathed in moonlight, granting her bonus attack speed, basic attack power, and strength alongside protections against crowd control. This ability is an absolute game changer, allowing her to single out targets and dominate engagements. Now that we've covered Awilix's abilities, let's talk about how to use them effectively in combos. Weaving basic attacks between abilities is absolutely crucial to maximizing her damage output. Without doing so, you'll miss out on a significant portion of your burst potential. So make this a habit every time you engage. Your first combo is Moonlit Charge into 2 basic attacks, then Feather Step. This is Awilix's standard engagement combo, using Moonlight Charge to knock up an enemy before laying in some auto attacks and a Feather Step for a finisher. A more advanced combo is Summon Suku, basic attack, Moonlight Charge, 2 more basic attacks, then Feather Step. This combo takes advantage of summoning Suku's mobility to engage quickly and activate her passive to deal extra damage. And finally, her full damage combo is Summon Suku, basic attack, Moonlit Charge, basic attack, Gravity Surge, 2 more basic attacks, and finally finish off with Feather Step. This combo fully utilizes Awilix's entire kit, ensuring maximum burst and lockdown potential. Remember that basic attacks between abilities are non-negotiable. The extra damage they provide is essential for securing kills and winning fights. Missing this crucial step can make you significantly less effective in every single engagement. And if you want to see some of these combos in actions, check out my channel where I will be posting Awilix gameplay videos soon to demonstrate these strategies in real matches. And considering following me on Twitch for live gameplay. It's a different experience from the YouTube videos, leaning heavily on play-by-play commentary. It's also a good way to ask questions directly. Hope to see you on my next stream. Now that you know what Awilix does and how you should play her, let's cover where you should be playing her. Awilix is best played in the jungle, where her high mobility and ability to capitalize on knockups make her an excellent assassin. She clears camps efficiently, roams quickly with Summon Suku, and has some of the best ganking potential in the game. She can also be played in the solo lane, though not as effectively as in the jungle. She has decent wave clear and strong dueling potential, but her reliance on jungle engagements and knockups limits her effectiveness in solo lane matchups. Awilix does not perform well in mid ADC or support. She lacks range poke for mid, sustained damage for ADC, and the utility needed for support. These roles don't play to her strengths, making her a suboptimal pick. With that being said, these are just suggestions for where Awilix should be played. If you find a build or playstyle that allows her to excel in other roles not traditionally associated with her, that's great, and I see nothing wrong with that. Now let's move on to the build. I can't give you an exact build for Awilix as items in SMITE 2 often go through changes and fall in and out of the meta, but I can tell you which stats to focus on and suggest some items. Awilix benefits the most from strength, cooldown reduction, and penetration. For strength, look at items like Transcendence, Hydra's Lament, and Avatar's Parachute to maximize her damage output. For cooldown reduction, items like Jotun's Wrath, Hydra's Lament, and the Crusher are great options to ensure you can use your abilities very frequently. And for penetration, you will want to consider items like Titan's Bane, Heartseeker, and Oathsworn Spear to shred through enemy defenses. Now remember, these items are just suggestions as they depend on variables such as your situation, your team composition, enemy team composition, and furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, items are buffed and nerfed, falling in and out of the meta. That being said, the stats themselves are consistent, so it doesn't really matter what items you buy as long as you focus on the stats your character requires. But if you do want completed builds, then feel free to join my Discord server where I or other community members can help you out with builds or any other questions you may have. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want some non-toxic friends to play SMITE with, our Discord server is the perfect place for you. Now, finally, I want to give you guys some tips and tricks to make sure you dominate your next game as Awilix. And my first tip is to always initiate fights with, well, initiative active. This extra damage from her passive gives her a huge advantage when engaging first, allowing her to start fights with a burst of power that can tip the odds in her favor. My second tip, and probably the most important, is weaving auto attacks between your abilities. Awilix's damage output skyrockets when you properly mix in basic attacks between her abilities. This is especially important after using Moonlight Charge or Gravity Surge, as these moments allow you to land free auto attacks before finishing with Feather Step. My third tip is to use Moonlight Charge from the side or behind. Hitting enemies from the right angle will knock them up, making it significantly easier to land Gravity Surge and follow up with your full combo. And finally, be mindful of your positioning. Awilix is high risk, high reward. Overextending without an escape route can leave you vulnerable, so always be aware of enemy crowd control and possible counter engagements. And that's it, you've reached the end of my Awilix guide. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my other SMITE 2 guides and subscribe for more content. If you have any other questions, join my Discord server for tips and a friendly community of SMITE players. Finally, follow me on Twitch if you want to watch me play SMITE live or ask questions directly. As always, thanks for watching, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye!